Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Shakedown. And tonight we have a contest set for one fall. And introducing first is your host. I'm the Bake Show, Shake and Bake. Introducing next, straight out of the Bronx, New York, the one and only the OG Fall Loud, Caesar Bambino.
What
My
up, man?
man, welcome to the show. This man is a former AWA Tag Team Champion. He is one half of the Golden Glovers. His tag partner is Landon Hernandez. Follow them on social media. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the Shakedown.
Doing great, doing lovely, man. Springtime, so everything's starting to blossom and bloom. That's all it can be.
Listen, I can't. I mean, you're a New Yorker. I'm upstate New York. There's nothing better than the springtime. It gets a little bit better up here, but like I was saying, just get it kicked right off the bat here. You're a New Yorker, but who are you?
I'm Caesar Bambino. For those who don't know, um, really, I wouldn't say I'm on like a loose cannon, but I'm just like what a typical New Yorker is. It's just no nonsense. Like I'm not here for the funny games, but we here to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all good vibes and good vibrations and all that. We love having good times, like the life of the party. If you ever see us in a cookout, you know what I'm saying? Trust when I
Yes,
tell you, throw down. Especially when it comes to the black and brown community. All you can eat buffet. That's all I'm gonna say. It's all you can
let's
eat
go.
buffet. That type of time. But at the same time, it's just like, we are rough around the edges. That's something that we can admit as New Yorkers. We know that's how we are as people. We don't mean to be mean. We don't mean to be like they say there's people who will sit here and say like, oh, why he looks so mean? And it's just like, bro, like that's just my straight face. Like I'm chilling. I'm thinking about a good day right now. And you saying I have a mean face. That's just unfortunately the environment we grew up in, where it's just like you have to have that mean mug to just make it seem like how, the way my grandmother always said it, and the way a lot of, well, actually, it's a lot of famous people that said it. From what I've been told, you got to be a sheep in order to be you got to be a lion in order to be the sheep you really want to be. You know what I'm saying? So like in this type of environment, it's a doggy dog world out here, unfortunately. So you gotta know who and what are the people that are like that.
Absolutely, man. I mean, trust is a big thing, right? You got to make sure you have trust, and you can't just trust anybody, especially in a business like this. Stone Cold Steve Austin said, "Don't trust anybody." But you're in this route, you're in this position, you got a tag team partner. Talk about trust, man. That is some of the ultimate trust you can have, not only to just like be traveling all the time and working like you do, but in order for it to click in the ring, like you have to have that relationship. Tell me about that and talk to me a little bit about Landon.
So Landon, bro, he's a go getter. Like he's one of those guys where it's just like he has his mind set on something, it's gonna get done, regardless of however long it takes or what it means he has to go through to get to it. And truth be told, those were one of the first like instances I seen when we first started training together. So being that I'm, the OG, I'm the first ever student. There was a lot of students that would come to the school and just like they'll come for a little while and then I show up and then sporadically show here and there, but then after a while they just disappear off the face of the earth. And around that time, Landon was one of those guys that was coming in, and then I thought he was one of those guys that was just coming in and out. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really know, and then I found out more and more. I asked about him. He actually got hurt trying to like, and then like he's coming back from a recovery, and he wasn't fully recovered yet, so he kind of like pushed the envelope, trying to like get to where come to us, and he exasperated the injury a little bit more and got himself hurt, and not knowing that, I unjustly cast a judgment on him. But then, being that he was such a like he's an open person. He's a really cool guy. Like as far as like he don't give off like a vibe where it's just like, you know what, like I don't want to be here or I'm better than you. He didn't give off that vibe. So I just like, you know what, I need to drop my ego and just figure this guy out. Let me figure him out more. And then to come to find out, bro, he's my fucking like the yin. He's my yang. He's my exact doppelganger, but just Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the best. He just got better hair and he just looks better, but he's literally me and I'm him. There's like from like it's certain things where it's just like, bro, like we sit there and we see something and we just like we know we thinking the same thing. Like you see, like you peep that, right? He's like, yeah, and just like
Okay.
we over here, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that weird thing where we just started realizing that real soon. And every time we seen each other, it was just like, that's my boy. There we go. Like my days here, like my days don't got better now. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you know when you go to school and it's just like your day ain't
Yes.
your boys there. That's how training was when we first started. And mind you, we're both like crazy Mets fans. So the Mets at that time they're going at a crazy. This is 2022. So this is when Frankie is wilding and Pete is doing his thing. But unfortunately, we faltered at the end where the Braves came in, did that. That's neither here nor there. But
Yeah, because
that was
I thought we were doing well, and you talk, you're a Mets fan. I'm a Yankees fan, so now I don't know what to think.
hey, bro. Certain situations happen where it's just where you know what I'm saying. I can't explain how this happened, how I became a Mets fan. I just know I am one. I'm sorry, I can't. You know what I'm saying.
I'm the same
Everybody
with
has.
the Yankees, man.
All I know is just that one day I was watching a Mets game, and all I remember was watching Jose Reyes and David Wright and
Oh,
Carlos Bell boys back in '06, and it was just like I liked them. And it wasn't, and I don't even think they won that game. It was just the way they was playing, and I just decided, hey, you know what? I don't see them. A lot of people cheering for this team. I'm gonna cheer for this team. Like this is my team right here. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like one of those type of things. So I just can't jump on the bandwagon with that 27 championship excuse, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
hey,
And we'll say
I,
the same. He was. It's and but you know the crazy thing about it is right. He's an Eagles fan and I'm a Jets fan, right?
okay,
Right. But as far as basketball is concerned, right? He's a huge Knicks fan, but I'm a huge Lakers fan, right? But we're both
okay,
Kobe fans.
respectfully.
Both respectfully. I just chose to stick with the Lakers. He just was like, you know what? That's his home. That's the home team. Why not stay? You know, might as well. But he was always a Kobe fan too. So that was one of our loves and appreciation because you know we were still grieving over Kobe at that time too. So and then we that's one of the main things that helped us. You know, I think it was more like trauma bond if you ask me. More like we just started that was literally around the same time the Mets collapsed, and everybody that's literally a Yankees fan that's in fallout, which is pretty much we're the minority. I could name
Yeah,
on hand on this one hand alone how many Mets fans are that are actually in the fallout that work or train within the fallout. So imagine 40 people through as far as staff and trainees, 40 people who are all majority Yankee fans. So you know how that went.
yeah, that couldn't have been great, man. I mean, you guys are the Golden Glovers. We talked a lot about baseball here, and that love and that kind of bond, like you said, you kind of started bonding over the Mets in that 22 team, which was great. I don't hate on the Mets. I have always respected them. As a Yankees fan, as Jeter said, they're the Mets, you know. But like, talk to me about how this gimmick and everything like that. Your gear is sick. I love the jerseys. I love everything. It's great. Talk to me about how that came about.
So literally, as we was like, there was already a tag team called the Scotty Ricans. They had pretty much just made a team out of a whim. It was a joke, really, just honestly a joke. But that joke, they some like the the higher ups took that joke real serious, and they ended up decided like y'all two should be a tag team. So at that time, they was the only tag team that was in the school, and at that point in time in my training, I started looking at it as like there's not a lot of opportunity in the tag team division. And Landon kind of felt that same way too. So it was kind of like a mutual thing where it was just like a lot of the coaches was also saying like, like you may not get a lot of opportunities as a single star, because everybody wants to be a singles competitor. So you
Right.
got to find something that helps you stand out. So at that time, we both noticed like, there's a huge drought in the tag division in a lot of the companies that we were trying to like work with, especially in our division. And one of the best matches that me and Lando both watched together was Main Event. Right now, Main Event is one of the better tag teams in all of Indies. I wouldn't even just say just New York in the Northeast, all of Indies. They're probably one of the better tag teams, unsigned tag teams in the Indies, in my opinion. And they put on a masterclass with this tag team called the Rep. And that match really, and then like they put on the match of the night, if you ask me. So
Right.
after Orlando, we always was just talking baseball every time we hung out, every time we were in class. We just talked baseball. We never talked anything else. And then we just started talking, and then we just came up with like these goofy ideas, like, yo, we should be a tag team, but we should be like a baseball tag team because we both love baseball, right? We're trying to develop characters at this time, and both of our characters were like sports fans or some type of sport oriented player or wrestlers. So now we just was like, let's combine them. We're both like, this is what we both like. We're both the same, so why not? So we just started throwing ideas out left and right. Just started coming up with ideas that we both liked, and then the right higher ups once again heard the right things, and then they just started saying, hey, we see you guys like talking a lot about these tag things ideas. Like, what do you guys like? Yeah, y'all have an idea? There's something y'all want to work on? So we just started giving them ideas that we came up with, and then the next thing you know, they started like giving us like the ideas that we gave them. They just like, do this instead. Oh, that would work too. Like, you know what? Add that in this. So then, the next thing you know, they just say, you know what? You guys are a tag team. What's your name? And for some weird reason, all I can think of was Golden Lovers, right? Because that
Mm-hmm.
was around Omega and Ibushi was like going back and forth between New Japan and AEW. So and Impact. So I was just really like watching them, keen on watching them. And I'm just like, well, it's a baseball gimmick. Lando was like, yeah, so it should be something like on along the lines of like what base like the top tier. Like it should be like we should like at first we was gonna
Mm.
go with, which would have been a great idea, but we just needed a third. So then I came up was like Golden Glovers. That's a high defensive award that you get for your position for what you do. And it's a pun on the Golden Lovers.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
like that.
a great idea. So we just said, you know what? That's the goal of it. And then as far as the uniforms and the fits, that's all Lando idea. Like you got to give
Okay.
I give Lando because at first we didn't have no real set idea on what we wanted to wear. Everybody was trying to give us some type of idea or formal like like pictures or like inspirations, and
Mm.
then it's just, and in our opinion, we thought it looked cheesy. It was just like, yeah, a lot of the people that do dress up as baseball players, they look cheesy. It doesn't come off as like a wrestler, come off as like a baseball player trying to be a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Not a wrestler that's a baseball player.
Right.
I know it's kind of hard to like, to differentiate that in a sense,
Yeah.
but it's just we wanted it to look. It was just like we want to look like wrestlers on top of looking like baseball players as that. So Landon, he came up with he was thinking, and this is around the time Tommy had passed away. So the Green Ranger, R.I.P. to
Yeah.
Tommy. This is around the time he had passed away. So my boy had gotten a tattoo of him, and he was like he was inspired, and he looked at it and he's just like, you know what? Like he thought of like a lot of baseball teams, they wore sleeveless jerseys and they
Mm-hmm.
pulled it off. So
Yeah.
why don't we? And then it just came. It is like the colors just like I said before in other explanations. It's like the colorways was just easy to explain. It's like the home. We got black and gold, and then white and gold home for the home games. Be white for the home games, black for the away games. And then we also have some other alternatives that we're also working on.
Yeah, that's
Championship caliber matches when we get to that point. But for right now, we have those two main solid colors. That's the main color scheme that we have as far as how we have everything situated. Um, it makes it easy for us to like showcase what type of players we are as well. So it's like baseball players like to wear their pants up to their knees, right, to show off their socks.
yeah.
I'm the type. I'm that type of player too. Like that's how I dress playing baseball because we both have legit baseball backgrounds as well. This is not just like, oh, we're fans and whatnot. Like he played baseball growing up. I played baseball all the way up growing up all the way up into college as well. So it's like we're both like legit baseball athletes with legit baseball backgrounds. Like you can type in our like legit government names and you'll see like articles of us from our baseball teams in our past. So like when I say like we're legit baseball, like legit baseball fans, legit baseball players, and then we both happen to have a love of wrestling and want to be and have a career in that. So that's literally was like the meat and potatoes on why we became a tag team.
That's awesome. I like that a lot. That you just took something so organic and made it seem so easy it's to bring up, and it's not always that easy.
That's
Now that you are so, I'm not. I'm assuming that you didn't go into this whole venture wanting to be a tag team. I'm assuming you have different inspirations possibly now than you did before, but there's still things you could take away. Who were your some of your inspirations through wrestling growing up?
growing up. So me growing up, I grew up in a time where my generation of wrestling fans, we we I wasn't able to. I had the tail end, literally the tail end of ECW and WCW, like right as they was closing their doors. So like I didn't get none of the good stuff from like the early to mid '90s. I was born in '95, right?
Same.
So growing up, like the last remnants of like outside WWE wrestling was ECW. And that's when they got turned. That's when they was on TNT, and then that's when TNT backdoored them for the WWE contract. So once WWE took ECW off of TV, there was nothing really much for me to watch outside of WWE. But then that's when Impact came around, TNA. So I grew up watching TNA, and then I wanted to know more because growing up in WWE, you know where mostly all these guys came from and their background or whatever information they did allow you to find out about them. That's all you was able to find out. So now Impact comes into my life, and then I'm starting to see guys like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Sanjay Dutt, Ruckus, like then it comes to a point where I see Sabu on WWE, then I see Sabu on TNT on TNA. Then I see Jeff Hardy, he's on TNT. I mean, he's on WWE. Now he's on TNA. Then I see Christian. So now I'm sitting here like, oh, so this is a legitimate business. So let me get more divulged into these people. Because now it's like there was a lot of people that used to wrestle for um Impact, that wrestled for Impact in its infant stages where I remember this was right after they just stopped watching. They just stopped airing the weekly pay per views, and they started putting it on sports on what was it, Fox Sports Net or something like that, one of those
Mm,
channels, early 2000s. And I used to watch that after school. So now I'm seeing guys like Conan, right? I'm seeing guys like Billy Kidman. I'm
yeah.
seeing guys um, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg on there, and I'm like, okay, who else is on here, right? And you see guys like R Truth, he leaves from TNA and goes to WWE back. So now is so I grew up in that timeline where Impact, Roy, and House of Glory, when they started coming up through the prevalent eras, that's where I pretty much had that luxury. So I could say really it was Samoa Joe, Motor City Machine Guns, AJ Styles. Mostly those guys were the guys I was following. And then, WWE style, you say Jeff Hardy, Shawn Michaels, RVD. Like those were my guys.
How can you not love it? Based on the couple of conversations we've had in the past, That makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. Going right off of that, if you could book any dream match, past or present tag team for you and Landon to square up against for the all-time tag team titles, who do you want?
That's really hard because it's too many. I'm gonna sit here and say uh, the Hardys over the Dudleys or Motor City Machine Guns or LAX. Like even before I became a tag team specialist, like those were already teams that I was looking up to. And then not to mention you got teams like Ryan Kendrick and Paul London. You know what I'm saying? Like those that. So it's like
Yeah,
if you ask me, I would want a gauntlet match and face all of them. That would be
I,
my dream.
I like
A
that.
gauntlet match to face all of them. That way, I can't just leave somebody out. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be one team. It's like you got to go through everybody.
Then
That's
you
the only
become the undisputed goat of all goats.
exactly. Just yo, Iron Man match. You got to beat these 7 teams within an hour. Do it. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And then you pick them
Wow.
7 and go wrong. You know what I'm saying? You got Beer Money. You got LAX. You got the Hardys. You got Dudleys, Edge and Christian, Motor City Machine Guns. You got the Young Bucks. Let's see who else. You got look, that's 7 right there.
Wow.
That's 7, and
That
I'm pretty sure you
that's money.
think
We could sell it. We could sell an arena with that. Let's work on it.
exactly, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, any type of match, a dream match, gauntlet match against all those teams.
I love it. I love it. I gave you a little bit of gas. It wasn't, unearned. I wasn't just pumping your tires here. Well deserved gas. You and Landon are former AWA Tag Team Champions. You came out victorious. You held it for a long time. Talk to me about that. What was it like being a champion, holding the belts, and like what's that mentality like? Because, chasing it's different, but holding it is a whole other animal.
So coming in, we was already one of those teams when we first got out there to Maryland. We just wanted to just to show we could hang. And then that first match, we proved not only did we hang, we might be one of the ones up there. And once they seen that the first showing, the first match we had, they was just like, hey, you guys something special. We want to see what you guys can do. We want to put you with the around the champions, see how you can hang with them. That was after the first show. So after that first match, we was able to prove ourselves, hang with them every match up until the point where they finally decided to pull a gun for us. And truth be told, like that was a very, in my opinion, a very big accomplishment. In my opinion, like that, just touching the gold, my first time ever. That's literally my first time ever winning, and that was within our rookie year too. That's what makes it even more special because like that was like that December, that like that we won. I'm not gonna hold you. I remember the day we won it, December 9th, 2023, right?
Yeah.
December 27th, 2022, 2023, me and Lando would have made 1 full year. We would have made 1 full year. So we
Dang.
wasn't even we wasn't even a tag team for a full year, like a legitimate tag team for a full year before we
Wow.
even won it. That just goes to show how like good and how much a whole that whole territory believed in us to a
Mm-hmm.
point where they would, you guys, as young as you are, you got something, you want to capitalize on it. And we did everything to our power to showcase what champions are in our minds. Like we did the promos, we did the media, we went out of state, defended it everywhere else we could defend it. New York, PA, Jersey, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like we tried to make it as like at, we're not trying to diminish it by saying it wasn't any like importance, but we wanted to bring that around and say like, yo, like we're one of those guys. And it's like unfortunately like we didn't get the chance to express the full reign because literally during the reign that's when Lando got hurt. So when he got hurt is when we had to relinquish the titles. So we probably would have had it for probably like a year if you would have asked me. I don't know. The way we was running hot. We was really going. We was hitting on all cylinders everywhere we went, and honestly, I felt like not only did we did it did not only did the title elevate us, we elevated the title too.
I think that's incredibly important. Not only to be like, yeah, this is my belt. I'm just gonna carry it around, hold it, but you do something for it. And there's my co-star Luna saying hello. But no, yeah, that's great. We talked about past success, but you can only hang out in the past so long, Caesar. You got to keep going. You got to keep moving forward, which brings me to my final question. What are you doing next? What is the next show that you and Landon are wrestling at?
So what's coming up next? We got a slew full of get back. So May 31st, Bronx, New York, May the Villain Reign 2. We have Santana, TNA's own Santana, headlining, main eventing that show. Me and my boy Landon of the Golden Glovers are gonna be on that card in a fatal four-way tag team match against FPS, the Colossal Collective, and Uptown Boys. Those are my guys right there. Show you much love. But at the same time, this is our debut for Battle Club, believe it or not.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's due because of injury and unforeseen situations that we didn't handle correctly. And
Hmm.
now we're here to show that we belong, like we always have been. Like I said before, like we just talked about, right? We're champions. We know how to carry ourselves as such. So we know what we got to do in order to be champions in Battle Club. And that's sitting here and beating these three other tag teams in this fatal four-way tag patch. Uptown Boys, Jared, Matt, you guys, you're the goods. FPS, you guys are actually, you remind me a lot of us. Literally from the way y'all came up to the to bro, your race got a black guy and a Spanish guy together. Like, bro, but at the same time, we know you're trying to take our spot, and we can't let that happen. So we got to prove to you why we did what we did before y'all even became a team. And for the Colossal Collective, you two, I got something I got to prove to you. Because Coach Mike figured that you two were the way, and me and Lando had to sit here and scratch and claw to just prove to him that even any type of investment into us was a better idea than investing time into you two. So at the same time, we got to get y'all too. That is what it is.
Man, strong words, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. It's going to be an absolute banger. I can't wait to watch what happens in this one. It's just going to be absolutely unbelievable. Listen, Caesar, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, man. Everybody, check out this man on social media. Let me get the proper plug here. I don't wanna miss nothing on my man's here. Absolutely phenomenal stuff, man. And those other teams, they better watch out. The way you talking is like you're set for a major comeback. Don't call it a comeback, Chad. This man is ready to rumble. Follow him. Let's see what we got here. We got KC Bambino, KC underscore Bambino on X. You can follow the Golden Glovers on X as well. Bambino. The O is not an O, it's the letter zero. .kc on Instagram if you want to give them a follow there. Golden Glovers, you can find them on Instagram as well. It was a pleasure, man. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Maybe we can get some response from some of these other teams here soon, get things popping. I can't wait to see the show. We'll talk again real soon, man.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you for having me. Shout out to Battle Club. Shout out to the Golden Glovers. Like I said, May 31st, May the Villain Reign 2. It's gonna be there. We're gonna have TNA's own Mike Santana sitting there headlining against Pena, Steve Pena, one of my coaches. Me and him got some unfinished business on some we got to talk about from the last few shows, but I'm proud of my man's from being in the position he's in right now, but he gotta get his ass whooped by my boy Santana. And little did you know, this is really a close match for me and Lando because little this is a little tidbit.
Okay.
Santana and Lando even found out about Fallout Shelter. So when Santana was signed to AEW with Proud and Powerful, him and Ortiz would come train at our school during their off days and right before they had a show the day before. So Santana, he lives on the Lower East Side, and so does Lando. Lando used to train at House of Glory before he came to Fallout, but then he took a little time off. And his time off, he runs into Santana. Santana actually tells him, "Hey, I'm training here at the Fallout Shelter. This is where you need to be. This is where Lando's been since." So that match actually has a lot of significance for me and Lando because literally I'm the first ever student of that school, which means I was the first ever student for Steve Pinion, right?
Okay.
Since literally brought Lando Landon, he literally brought Landon to Fallout. So if it wasn't for those two men, we wouldn't be here.
Wow. That's pretty powerful. It's going to be an electric show. If you're in the area, one more time, it is May the Villain Reign 2, May 31st, presented by Battle Club Pro Wrestling at the Pugsley Preparatory Academy. You can find that in beautiful Bronx, New York. Until next time, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with a friend. We got plenty more of the Shakedown coming at you.